Hello. Uh, last couple of videos I did, where I sang a couple more show tunes, I made a big point of titling those videos as Not Cryptic, and I did that for a reason. It's because they're not cryptic videos. The word not means isn't. You understand that? Because I got a comment in one of them where somebody tried to do some wordplay to come up with some way to show that there was actually a video clue somehow, even though I said it wasn't. And it was like, no, it isn't. Stop that. Stop. Don't do that. I don't do it anymore. Don't do it anymore. Please. Not cryptic anymore. Understood. Please. Thank you. Looks like paranormal activity going on out there, doesn't it? Oh well. just the way it looked. Anyway. In fact, this whole setup reminds me of PS. Should come out here with a hoodie and close the blinds and put on some big gloves and no, bad idea. Anyway. What's more important now that's out of the way is last night, of course, for all of those who had fun staying up into the wee hours, there was a reveal about the event of Halloween Horror Nights 25. Not as fun or exciting as back in 2008 when we had a lot of interesting stuff revealed in a more creative and elaborate way, but what can you do? It is what it is. At least nothing crashed and there's no signal to freak everybody out. So that's all fun and games. But we come to the point where I must give credit where credit's due. This will be the last time ever I give out any sharp cookies, because I don't do the cryptic thing anymore, so there won't be any more cryptic clues in the future for cookies to be given for. But I would be amiss if I don't give the cookies to the nice people who did, in fact, guess those videos that I did make back when I still did that sort of thing. In the couple videos ago, I did attribute the 4 persons for the 4 reveals so far, even though one of them, of course, wasn't what it was supposed to be originally, because, well, purge happens, you know. But the others are pretty close, so let's go on with those. So, last night the first thing we learned was that the 5th house of the event, the 5th IP house, would be American Werewolf in London, coming back again after its previous appearance just 2 years ago. And the song choice for that on my part was the song I Don't Know How to Love Him from the Broadway musical Jesus Christ Superstar. And you're probably going, what the frick does Superstar have to do with werewolves? Think about it. Think about it. The lyrics of the song are very much what the character played by Jenny Agutter may actually feel about David, the American werewolf. I used to know her name. I think it sounded like a boy's name. I think the name of the nurse, the character Jenny Agutter plays, something like. It's out of my mind at the moment, or I'm out of my mind. I don't remember the name of the character. It'll come to me, but I do seem to think it didn't sound like a typical girl's name. But at any rate, the lyrics, the way Mary Magdalene feels about Jesus in the song, does kind of fit the way Jenny is apprehensive about David and whatever it is about him. But there's other things that connect these properties. If you're not aware, I'm a professor of religion, and I know that the holiday of Passover is associated with the first full moon following the spring equinox in an unusual way. That's why Easter happens when Easter does happen, because it's associated with what they call the Paschal full moon. In all likelihood, according to the Gospels, Jesus Christ would have been crucified on the night of the full moon. Furthermore, he was quite literally the slaughtered lamb, if you know your Bible, who died for all our sins. Therefore, there's a lot of parallels to the movie. The name of the character is David, yeah, son of David. He's Jewish. That's explicitly made out in one of his nightmares, where you see the little menorah on the shelf of his family's house. The whole idea of the Nazi werewolves, that whole dream sequence, is from David's own Jewishness. That's a Jewish nightmare that he has. So you see all of this stuff. There is a parallel there, and there's some other things that I don't remember at the moment, but I saw reasons why we could make these connections between David. Oh yes, the fact that David's death does in fact free these souls from a sort of purgatory or hell that they're lost in, and until he dies, they have to be sort of these undead spirits. I mean, that also fits in with the parallel between that. So he literally, when he dies, his blood will free and release all these other souls who are trapped. So there's a thematic parallel between American Werewolf in London and the story of Christ, and so I found that to be ironic, and yet would make a good clue. The person who gets the shop cookie for this is the person called Sir Owen Disney. I don't know if that's his real name. I'm sure Owen is probably his real name. His name may actually be Disney. Whether he's related or not, I've got no idea. But I really doubt if he's actually a Knight of the Realm. Really doubt that. But he's the one who figured out this one first. So he gets that cookie for American Werewolf. The second reveal last night was the original house called Run, Blood, Sweat and Fears, which is the third version of Run without Eddie, but also set in Hellgate Prison. I had no idea about that. That's exciting. I thought Hellgate was going to be was going to be a different house that they didn't do because it was too extreme or something. But now I think what happened was the rumors got conflated, or they got split apart when it should have been one thing. I think that's what that was about. Anyway, there were two people. The person who got closest in figuring that one out. What was that one? I remember that really dark video, that middle of the night, where I sang a creepy little song called Run, Rabbit, Run. And it was from a West End musical called The Little Dog Laughed. A musical that's not well known, but it was one of Churchill's favourite shows during the Blitz. It was one of the few shows to actually be running in the West End of London while bombs were falling from the Nazis. And in fact, the song in question about the rabbits has something to do with the Blitz. The idea is that the farmer with his gun is the Nazis and the rabbits are the Britons keeping calm and carrying on regardless. That's actually a song of hope. So I picked it because, you know, the contestants in the game, well, they hope to beat the odds and survive. Run, Rabbit, Run. It also has a bit of a red herring to House of a Thousand Corpses, but you never know. And, you know, the old Extreme House idea of Fluffy Bunny, but I didn't know if that was going to happen. And the closest person to get that is whoever calls himself Styrofoam Cup at Horror Night Nightmares. That's the closest one to getting that house for the cookie, for the song. Didn't get it exactly, but got closer than anyone else. Alright, okay, the next reveal was the idea of an anniversary house or a history house, and that was the song that we did was Those Were the Bad Old Days. Those Were the Bad Old Days, a song from the Broadway musical Damn Yankees, and that was the idea that had been rumored, and so I went with that. However, turns out the house is actually Jack Presents 25 Years of Monsters and Mayhem. So it's not just like the Howard Pass, it's a new idea. It's got some old houses, but they're going to be presented in interesting new ways, involving all sorts of characters from the whole scope of 25 years. It sounds really fun, and the song choice, those are the good old bad old days. That's pretty much obvious, I think, to me, for a house on the history of horror nights. The ones who got that right was sort of a tie between two people. I guess one got one eye part of it and the other got the other part of it, and together they get the cookie. The person called Emperor Sephiroth on YouTube here, and the Styrofoam Cup on Horror Night Nightmares share the sharp cookie for this one. Okay, the 8th house revealed, that is of course the 3rd original house. Last night was Body Collector's Recollections, and if you read the descriptions for it and read Mike Aiello's tweets last night, you realize it's not just body collectors. It's actually set in Shady Brook Asylum back in the 1880s. Apparently there's this great blizzard, and historically there was a great blizzard in America in the late 19th, couple of them really, in the late 19th century. Huge blizzard, snows in the original asylum building that was built in the 19th century, completely, before they redo it, all kind of Art Deco in the early 20th century, the one that we're more familiar with. But the original Shady Brook Asylum completely snowed in, and the body collectors arrive at that time, and the people inside the asylum can't get out because they're snowed in, but the body collectors can get in and do whatever they want to do there. And according to Mike Aiello, well, this explains where those mad assistants of the body collectors came from. Remember those creepy guys with the muzzles and the straitjackets flapping around this diabolical half-human beasts that served the body collectors? The implication here is they came from Shady Brook. So that gives an interesting idea of that, and connecting those two franchises and explaining it as sort of a storyline merges. That's the house apparently that they called Blizzard back in the day, the code word that was bandied around, and they've been teasing that more than any other house over the past few weeks, and I guess Art and Design really liked it more than any of their other houses. So the sharp cookie for that would go to Owen again, because Owen figured out before anybody else that the song Cool from West Side Story was for this one, and it was kind of silly. Cool and crazy, you know, boy, crazy boy, get cool boy, because, you know, crazy, the psycho scaraby guys, and it's during a blizzard where it's cool, right? So they don't get collected by the police or something in the West Side Story. But it's, well, I thought it matched. Anyway, that was that one. Bad puns. All right then. So the 9th and last house, which is the 4th original house, and this was revealed last night, was Asylum in Wonderland 3D. Obviously from the old Asylum in Wonderland Scare Zone they had back Reflections of Fear, and now it's a 3D house. And so Asylum in Wonderland in 3D is, how did everything suddenly turn red? I didn't do that. Oh well. But Asylum in Wonderland 3D is now this this house that's coming up at I think I used the most obvious song I could find from the Broadway musical Wonderland, the song The Mad Hatter, and I assume the Hatter will be in the house. I mean, come on, it's Wonderland. And one of the more memorable characters from both the Scary Tale house that had an Alice scene, as well as the Asylum scare zone, so it seemed appropriate. And again, let's see, Owen Disney is the first person to get that one for an Alice in Wonderland house of some sort. Okay, so I did the sharp cookies for the houses, but I'm running out of time, so I'll have to do another video for the scare zones.